Pennsylvania Dutch language and worship with a conservative Mennonite group. I do drive a horse and buggy on the road. I do not have a car.
Oh, you also don't use car.
Oh, look at them. They're informing
That,
me.
There's a farm
that's a
Amish.
vegetable farm there, and that family's up there harvesting celery. Those folks grow lots and lots of celery.
Celery?
Yeah, celery.
What are their names?
You mean what their last name is?
Yeah.
Okay. Those folks' last name is Weicker.
Worker, huh?
Yeah. They call it the old homestead farm.
Ah.
The average farm is between 70 and 80 acres. Those folks have, they grow a lot of various crops yet all summer long, but here in the fall they have the celery and they have kale, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. And they have acres and acres of celery.
But this is broccoli. Broccoli, no? That's broccoli.
Yeah, that there would be.
Yeah. Broccoli. Do you need a license to ride this buggy?
No,
No.
no license.
Ah.
You don't need a license to drive, and you don't need a license for the buggy.
Wow.
The only thing that Pennsylvania requires that we have turning signal and lighting for night,
Wow.
and that large flag on the back.
Wow. They say house
Celery.
celery.
Yeah. Now this is the whole old homestead farm. They're building, those folks you're seeing out there. There are 3 farms. The driveway goes from this street to a street back there. This one is Amish owned. There's 2 farms further back that are not Amish owned. So those folks are not Amish owned. I'm not quite sure. We're a little off, but this is down here is where he's growing his kale, his cabbage, and his cauliflower. The greenhouses there, an Amish girl had told me already in October that they already started their flowers for the Christmas holiday.
Wow.
They raise the family raises flowers for the holiday.
Wow.
So after their summer crops is open, they usually do that. And then again, she says they used to start after New Year's and do the same thing for Easter.
So all the Amish are Christians?
Yeah, the Amish are Christians. Now this is corn for the animals. It is ready to harvest. That farmer is not.
Yeah, corn ready.
He is not an Amish farmer, so he uses a combine to harvest it with.
Soybeans
Most
here.
of the farmers sell their soybeans. The soybeans are squeezed for oil, and then the bean is dried, and then it is used for protein for an animal feed.
Wow.
Nothing wasted.
Yeah. Now this you see there, that farmer in the beginning of October, he planted that into wheat
Wow.
for next year's harvest.
Wow.
See, yeah, I know.
5 generations
Ah.
Oh, wow.
from father to son. Now we can see a couple of horses over there. For the Amish folks, if they take any farm machinery to the field, it is drawn by horses. They do not use modern machinery. The farm machinery is drawn. Those are what they call their work horses or their draft horses. The type of horses they do field work with. They're a whole lot bigger than the horses we use on the road here, and stronger. Usually a little slower because most of the field work is done by the horses walking.
Wow.
They do. These guys like to go faster uphill, so we're going to go let them go.
Yes, that's nice. They like to go fast. Wow. Nenjamundu, Nemayundu, Odurasa. Wow.
They know when to slow down.
Yeah. They pretty much know when to speed up. Speeding up makes it easier for the top.
Tayo na lang humila sa kanya. They're tired. Yeah, kawawa naman.
Wow.
Difference between the Amish and the Mennonites.
Okay, there is the group I worship with uses a horse and buggy on the road. There is not a whole lot of difference. We are all Christians. We use the New Testament and a lot of the same James version for our belief. The main thing between the Amish and the Mennonites is material things. We allow things that they don't. Now, like for myself, we have the electricity and the telephone in our home, something that the Amish do. And we farm with all modern farm machinery, no horses. But the group still does not have cars. I use a horse and buggy for the road, but not for the field. There's another group of horses which are all used for field work.
Oh, they're so big.
Wow.
Nice horses.
They're usually either Belgians, the ones with blonde males and tails are Belgian, they're Belgian crosses, and the dark ones are usually Perchons. They're two different breeds, but they're all considered a draft horse breed. That means a bigger, heavier horse.
Do they use any of these animals in the sight and sound program?
Yeah, I believe they do if they have horses. I'm really not too sure. I did see saddle horses already over there that they had, but I never seen the real big draft horses, so I'm not sure on that side.
What is this plant here?
That plant there is alfalfa, which they grow to make hay with. It was harvested 3 times this summer already. It grows back after it's cut. They usually save that for the winter feed for the horses and the cows and store it in the barn when they bring them in off the barn. Now, we can see a few goats down here. This family is not Amish, but they milk about 60 goats. They make cheese and yogurt and sell raw and pasteurized goat's milk at local farmers markets. Some of the time they do have goat meat. Now they are not Amish, but the sign here says I also do know the family. The farm's been in that family name since the late 1700s. The Amish folks do not have churches. They divide them into groups of maybe 15 to 20 families worship together. Then each one takes a turn to open their home and have the church service. And then they have a meal afterwards. Now that's another fairly big difference. My friend just asked back there about the Mennonites. The Mennonites have church houses, and we do not eat there. And we left, my forefathers left Germany, and some came from Holland. And when I had a cousin to my father that traveled to Germany and to Holland, and he did a lot of things. And the Mennonites had already discontinued having their church service in their homes. They had church houses when they came here. They were used to having church houses. They built church houses near the city of Lancaster and called it the Lancaster Conference because they were used to having church houses. There is this Christian Burkholder and my wife's family. He was brought to America from Germany when he was 4 years old, and he became one of our church leaders. And his grandfather used to walk to those churches, he said, some as many as 20 miles away.
Wow.
But he always walked.
Not even buggy. He was not even using the
Well,
buggy.
he said he used to often go, when he did church work, he used to go and stay overnight. And then he used to go the day before. He says he couldn't say why he wouldn't use the horse, but I guess he didn't have to bother. It didn't bother him. When he went by himself, he walked. He walked to that congregation and stayed with the people. Then he came home the following day. He said it was just so, things which history he remembered of his grandfather.
It's a nice feeling when they run fast.
Maybe I did mention this, sometimes repeat myself. We have 30,000 Amish here in Lancaster and Chester County.
Right now.
and 60,000 total in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Oh.
Train museum is 1 mile only, eh?
Yeah.
The train museum.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a large There is a large percentage they are allowed to vote, but there's still I bet I dare say at least half of them do not vote at all or never voted.
Wow.
They're not too much into any voting on politics. No. They do not run for any type of office.
Wow.
They are not represented by our government in any way, but one thing that they do have the last 10 years, they do have lobbyists.
Wow.
They have 2 different lobbyists. He goes to Washington and discusses a lot of the laws and rules that would affect the Amish with having meetings with our local senator and congressman.
Sir, can I ask you one question?
Yes. Taxes, the only exemption that they have, if you are a farmer, we have what they call a Green and Clean Act. If you are 90% of your income comes from farming, you do get a tax break. But that goes to everybody that farms. Yeah. If he was a farmer, he could get the same tax break as the Amish can.
Yeah.
It is not for religious reason or just for the Amish. It's for anybody that farms, but you do need to make 80% of your income there. So, a guy like me don't say I have 30 acres. I have 30 acres of land. I want a tax break on it, but I work something else for a living.
Wow, that's nice.
If I make too much extra money from other things, then I won't qualify. Which is their common sense of protecting the farmer that makes a living from farming.
Yeah.
Not the man not the family that has a large pasture and a large recreation and not pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
Sir, do you when you retire, do you get Social Security?
No, very, very seldom that the Amish or the Mennonites collect Social Security. There is a few of them would do. I know of 2 different Amishmen that told me they collected Social Security. But today they can, and a lot of them do, they can get an exemption from paying Social Security. And then that denies them from collection. Now the 2 different...
How about health insurance?
Huh?
Health insurance.
Well, their insurance is all church run. They usually their insurance, what they insure for their buggies are what we call liability to stay away from being sued, is just bought from local insurance companies. But when it comes to their fire insurance and their church insurance, my Mennonite church too is all church run.
Well, what happens when you get sick?
How about the people? Are they governed?
I personally paid it for him more or less as a loan. And the church group will help him. They won't pay it all, but the church group will at least pay $30,000 of it.
Wow.
They do it through a free will collection.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. We have a large church group, and yes, I don't say to boast, the Amish is a larger one. We run a free will church collection once a month, and we can raise $1.5 million a month.
Wow.
But, we also get hospital bills. I do take care of my church house group. It is, I guess you don't say it for honor. We divide it among each other. It takes time. It's a thankless job. Everybody gets the turn to do it. And I just did get a bill from a small child that was in a hospital at least 8 months. It was born sick. and it is well over $1 million. So you know what? So you know, it sounds like a lot of money, but it leaves that fast too.
Yeah.
You pay one like that, and most of a church collection is gone. But hey, that's what we're here for. We help each other. Now that again, I did not get it done yet, but I have an acquaintance of mine have an appointment, and we really do. It's out of the area a little bit, but we really do want to go and see the group and see what kind of a discount we can get, being it is self-pay. Most of our insurance companies do not come up with that. I had this. This is a very old story, maybe 30 years ago, and they said no, we can't do it because he needs surgery on his head.
Wow.
And so we moved him to another hospital by ambulance. And then I went to pay the hospital bill, and I knew it was going to come, so I prepared myself for it. I rode in on the bus, and I went to the first hospital, and they gave me at least a 20% discount. He had only been there a short time. So I walked across town to the adjoining hospital, and I mentioned to him, I said to the girl, well, I just left the hospital over there and I got a discount. He says, well, he disputed that. Well, I said, I want to see the head administrator then. I want to see somebody that knows anything. Well, she said, he's not here right now. I said, I'm going to sit on that chair till he comes in or you won't be paid today. I said, I will leave without paying the bill. And I says, I will come back when he is here. Well, it was probably true, maybe he wasn't in, but I hadn't more than sat down. Less than 5 minutes he was there. When he realized he was going to pay my bill. And we went in a few rounds. He says, well, why'd you come here if you don't like the way we charge? Well, I said they couldn't do it over there. He said, well, we get paid for our extreme services. All righty. I said, no issue about it. I pulled out my checkbook and I wrote him a check. And I says, remember, I don't want to sound smart, but it says, remember, friend, I do take care of a large church groups of paying bills. And I says, you don't give a discount. And I will announce in my home church that everybody is supposed to stay away from your hospital because you don't give discount. And he said to me, come back in here. he gave me a discount. He didn't want me to do that. But I would have, because we had groups that gave discounts, so we would have patronized the other hospital. I told you don't have to, but it says I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to announce that they are supposed that the other hospital gives a discount and you don't. He went back and gave me a discount. He didn't want me to do that, which I didn't. I was loyal. I did talk to people about it. That he eventually gave me a discount, but after that, I believe they gave everybody a discount because we do have a large church group and they didn't want them all to shy away from the hospital. But I truly meant it. I wasn't trying to make fun of him because I had the experience of both hospitals. So, so why wouldn't I mention? But to go back to, they do have a one-room school across the field there. It's that brick building way back there is where the children go to school. It looks like it has white shutters. The Amish, they have all 8 grades in one room. The Amish have no interest of any further education in 8th grade. Their teachers do not go to college. They teach school on an 8th grade education. Get it? A lot of theirs, about 80% of their teachers are girls. For the Amish folks, a lady seldom works out of the home much after she gets married, so they quit teaching school when they marry. Get it?
What is the name of this tree?
I really do not know, sir. I should try and find out. It reminds me of some kind of a cherry tree, but the birds feed on them all year. If the leaves drop off, they can freeze and thaw and don't drop off.
Wow.
It is some kind of a cold weather tree because I go by here when the ground's frozen, there's snow, not riding the buggy, they're still on there.
Must be pretty.
We shut the buggy down about at the end of this month.
Oh, really? So we are lucky to come now.
So Pennsylvania law now says the teachers need to be 18. So a lot of their young folks, their marriages are not arranged. The boys, they select their own, you would say, boys and girls alike. And they often marry from the age of 19 to 22. So the girls usually only teach school, off to teach school a year or two till they get married.
Yeah.
So aside from farming, sir, what other occupations?
For generation, for the men, they do work construction, and they are great woodworkers. A fair share of them have wood shops. A few of them around here are beginning to go into having restaurants. They go to a lot of farmers markets and work with the selling a lot of prepared food and preparing food. But the bulk of their young men that do not farm definitely are woodworkers. Yeah, they do. They do a lot of building. They do a lot of various times. The craftsmanship is passed down from father to son for generations. They are great craftsmen.
Yeah.
When it comes to wood.
Very nice.
My son runs his own business and he does some roofing, but he does a lot of spouting. For years he did spouting, and he always told folks when they wanted spouting put on a building, he used to estimate it maybe by the foot from out seeing it. He said if it was Amish owned,
Oh, we are back?
yeah, we are back.
Wow.
Now we have to go back. Narito lang tayo sa looban eh. Hindi ko tayo lahat doon. Oh, can you drive us over to the restaurant?
No,
This one.
No, I can't, ma'am. I'm not, you know. It would be pretty hard for me to take the horses across the street there with all the
It's
traffic.
okay,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. That's a nice ride. Nice,
Very good.
nice history.
Information.
Yeah, information.
American history.
There's another buggy there.
Yeah.
Ah.
Some days we do operate more than one buggy. Usually on Saturdays in the summertime we run. Right?
Dapat 10, pero pag marami tayo.
Well, I tell you what. I'm gonna take you in here. It's a little dirty out here, but I want to park out here then, so I'm just gonna bring you in here and unload.
Alam ng kabayo na siya sa ulo. Oo. Mali yung
Okay,
kabayo,
well,
alam mo.